Ball on the Daily. Go follow him on Instagram. We'll put that in the bio. But how you doing, my man?
Perfect. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. And it's a nice Monday. But I gotta say first, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of it in a little bit. Do you believe the Orioles were screwed based on this format?
I wouldn't say that. I would say it does suck having that long of a wait period because I feel like in baseball especially, if you get hot, it's hard to stop you. And when you have a wait period, it's kind of hard to stay hot.
Yeah. What okay, so if you I get that, but we'll go with the Braves for example, because I mentioned that in the opening. Why do you think it happened in the Braves? Like if you per se aren't sure, like it sounds like you aren't sure, maybe not. Take the Braves for example. They led the league in home runs this year. They're clicking on all cylinders, and then they barely win one game. Realistically, they could have got swept. Why do you if you're not sure, why do you think maybe they struggled the point they did?
I think it's I mean, I didn't really watch the Brave series that much. Like I wasn't into it. But
Yeah, we'll
I'd
get back to the
assume
Orioles in a little bit, but
I'd assume it was like I think the wait period is a problem. I think it's too much time. I think even though it gives your players time to rest and like get healthy and stuff, like it doesn't really matter if like I don't know. I don't know.
so
I
what
feel
I
like
okay,
like I
so
said before, the bat's being hot, but like I don't know.
yeah,
Besides that, I don't really know.
for the yes, I guess that'd be my devil's advocate. So say you think it is. Well, I guess, what would you say like to fix it? First of all, we'll get into the solutions a little bit. But what would you say the reason why they're adding more playoff teams is because obviously, for the fans, get more opportunities. Like 1969, that was when they first headed to where not just the best records in each in the American League and the National League. You actually have to have a playoff before you get to the World Series. And then, of course, 2012 they started adding a second wild card team, and so on and so on. There's other examples, right? If you first of all, before we get to any of the solutions, what do you say to that crowd? That more teams in the playoffs is good. If you think it is a disadvantage,
I love it. I love having more teams in the playoffs because in the regular season, you could be so close and almost make it and barely make it. And then once you make the playoffs, it could all go crazy. Like the Diamondbacks, for a long time, July, start of August, everyone thought they weren't going to make it because they were just plummeting. Then they got hot and made playoffs, and now they're making noise. I mean, they're down in the series against the Phillies, but still.
yeah, it's a close series, and no, for sure, I actually agree with that. I like the Cinderella runs, and I think that's good for baseball. But okay, well let's talk solutions then, because we talked about it. Like first thing is what I would do, and I want to see if you agree with this first, is the NFL how it used to do. Now it has 7 seats, but when it used to have six, if you had the one and two had the bye, right? Well, the one would face the lowest seed. It doesn't matter what it is. They would just face the lowest seed because that makes sense. You want you're giving the one the advantage. In baseball, they don't have that right now. They just face whoever wins in the 4 or 5, I believe. So would you agree with that?
I mean, I think if you're a one seed, you're getting the bye already. And in baseball, I feel like the bye is a disadvantage anyway, but um I feel like you should play the lower seed. Even though they have the brackets the way it is right now in baseball and football, when you play the 8 seed, I mean, everyone looks over the 8 seed anyway, if you're a one seed. So I feel like that gives it an extra confidence for the team if they're playing. They already have a week one bye, especially in football. Week one bye, everyone's healthy, everyone's getting back. 8 seed to start off the playoffs should be easy, right? I mean, everyone should be excited to play that team. And I mean,
So yeah,
only
so
happens
let's
sometimes.
let's talk about the off days then, because that's one other aspect I think that's been debated about change. Right now, the season always ends on a Sunday. It's a Sunday afternoon. I believe they play that games at like 2 or 3 o'clock. And then the teams like the Braves, the Orioles, et cetera, who are the 1 and 2 seeds, they don't play till the next Saturday. So that's 6 days actually, 5 full days of rest. One thing that's been debated is the off days. So like my suggestion would be just for the wild card teams that you're a wild card or a lower seed, you don't get a break. You start right away on Monday and you finish the series by Wednesday. And then the division series starts by Friday. But there's been other things, like I think the wild card, if all the wild cards were done in two games this year, so obviously it didn't matter. But in the future, maybe you could get rid of the day off in between the second and third game. I prefer my way better. I think the divisional round team shouldn't be punished, but at the wild card, you're a wild card. You got to earn your worth. What do you think about the off days?
I mean, I love your idea. I love starting back up on the Monday and then having the first seeds playing on Wednesday. I love that. Or Thursday or whatever. I think the quicker you can get in, I mean, the more you play in that period, less practice, less like thinking about it. I feel like you can play better.
I think and especially in a game like baseball where it's like football is different. You play 17 games, right? In baseball, you're playing every day, so it's in your routine. So no, I fully agree with that.